What's up guys, it's Justin Kahn, your favorite founder's favorite founder, back at it again with another YouTube video. And I'm going back to my bread and butter. We're gonna do one on startups again. I know you guys have been asking like, why am I watching this guy host his DJ sets? Well, this is the reason you came for the startup knowledge, so that's what I'm gonna lay on you today. I've been getting asked all the time how I think about AI when it comes to starting companies, investing in companies. This is how I think about AI when it comes to investing in startups, joining a startup, starting a startup, anyone who's thinking about AI startups in general, or where the value is gonna accrue in the chain, should be watching this video. So what's happening right now? After ChatGPT got launched last fall, there's been a gold rush into AI startups. Everyone is either now starting an AI company or they're rebranding their existing failing company as an AI startup, which is actually fooling some people. This is working. I've heard of companies raising $10 million out of $50 million post, or raising $50 million seed rounds. There's like insane things that you haven't seen since crypto in 2021. Just absolutely bonkers. And some of these companies that are raising these monster seed rounds are LLMs for specific industries, the ChatGPT for X. It's very tempting out there if you're an entrepreneur who just is really good at raising money to slap AI onto your pitch deck and go out into this feeding frenzy right now. At the same time, if you're not an AI startup, then it's kind of like crickets. Investors are still complaining about there being a recession and it's not a good time and what are your unit economics, et cetera, et cetera. Boom time is back, baby, but only for AI startups. Reportedly, Midjourney, a generative AI image startup, is making hundreds of millions of dollars a year now, and everybody is rushing to figure out how to be the next Midjourney. Midjourney for video, the Midjourney for healthcare. I've seen a Midjourney for everything. There can't be that many Midjourneys, or can there? But one thing, as an investor, this has made it super hard to determine what to invest in because there's this glut of capital and it's really difficult to know what is going to be the durable consequences of AI are going to be. Every day the landscape changes, there's new innovations, there's new open source frameworks, the models get 10 times as big, the whole space is moving lightning fast, and it's really hard to know where things are going to shake up in 5 to 10 years, the length of time it takes to build a real company. One big worry I have about investing in AI startups is that AI might prove to be deflationary. Most of the gains of AI may just accrue to consumers and not actually benefit companies at all. It might just be that companies are now obligated to provide consumers with the AI features they expect, which is an additional cost as they need to provide train models and pay for compute, but consumers aren't willing to pay any more. So one example of this might be Bing adding AI chat to its search, and then now Google's like rushing to add Bard and roll out Bard for its search, but are consumers going to pay any more for Google? Are advertisers going to pay any more for search ads? I don't think so. So it might be the case that it just makes Google's business model worse without adding anything to its bottom line. And in this scenario, the winner is NVIDIA and all of the suppliers of AI chips, which is certainly already reflected in NVIDIA's massive stock price. So who are going to be the real winners in AI? So I don't really have any answers, but I do have a bunch of questions that I would ask myself before I considered investing my time or money in an AI startup. The first question is, are the incumbents going to add AI features to their app faster than you could build an audience? For example, there's a ton of companies that are pitching themselves as the AI customer service solution for companies. But it's probably the case that the AI customer service solution is going to be Zendesk or Intercom or one of the many other existing customer service solutions, because what you can see is that all of these companies have already added AI features in the first couple months of these AI LLM advancements being out there. Right now, it's hard to aggregate a new customer base, but it's quite easy to add these AI features into your product. So I think the question boils down to, are these advancements in AI allowing you to aggregate a new customer base that you couldn't aggregate before? Like, what is the fundamentally new experience that you can create with AI that didn't exist before? And put another way, why is this something that hasn't been able to be invented before? One example might be ChatGPT. Obviously that's a complete innovation in how people access data and ask questions to software. Another example I love is Runway, which is providing all these powerful new video editing features that couldn't exist before with AI. Although, once again, I still think the jury's out on does Adobe just add these types of features to their software? We'll see. Second question I'd ask myself is your startup going to be subsumed by these general purpose LLMs over time getting better. A lot of these pitches are like on specialization of an LLM, and that might work where there's domain reasons why you really need specialization. Maybe there's like healthcare laws around data, for example, like HIPAA, something like that, that prevent you from having a general purpose LLM that, you know, answers questions in the space. But barring that, I think you can't bet against these LLMs not getting 10x better in the next 5 years. You know, they've already gotten significantly better every 18 months or 24 months in the last couple of years. You know, we weren't talking about GPT or GPT-2 as much, but then when it came out, GPT-3 and ChatGPT and GPT-4 came out, and there were significant improvements that happened in a very short period of time. And I think GPT-5 and GPT-6 and all these other versions will continue to blow you away in terms of the breadth and depth of what they can do. If you're building something that specializes in a certain area and you're betting against these OpenAI and its competitors, Anthropic, et cetera, improving, I think you're probably not building something that's gonna be durably defensible. Another question I'd ask myself is the training data that you need for this product exhaust from the user's usage of the product itself? So one example that I love is TikTok. You know, with the recommendation algorithm, it's fed by data that's actually watch length, which is how much you actually watch the videos, right, as the user. And so by using TikTok, you're actually feeding data back into the algorithm. And for example, like if I see a video, you know, TikTok serves me a video and then I'm like, do I swipe? That's data that's like, this video recommendation was bad. If I watch it all the way to the end or multiple times, that's information that it was a good recommendation, right? And so when you're thinking about product design, I would be thinking about, are you building a proprietary data set? I do think specialized domains and industries are good places to look. Generally, everybody is thinking about like the general purpose AIs or the broad AIs. What are the applications that only you know about because you're a domain expert in a certain industry? I think those are places where you're likely to have a little bit more defensibility. Another question is this business being driven by a first order effect or second order effect of AI becoming ubiquitous? So first order effects, you know, those are going to be the things like everything's cheaper, everything's faster, you know, so doing better customer service with less humans, or GitHub Copilot, right, like lowering the cost of engineering. Those are things that are kind of obvious effects that are going to happen with AI ubiquity. Second order effects are more, what are the things that are going to be created or enabled now that AI is ubiquitous? So one example I love from the invention of refrigeration. What business does the existence of refrigeration everywhere enable? Well, it's Coca-Cola, because once you have fridges everywhere in every convenience store in every home, people want to actually buy and consume cold Coke. So one thing I'm interested in is figuring out what are these second order businesses that are going to be created once AI is everywhere. And to be honest, I don't have any good ideas, because if I did, I'd probably be starting that company and not telling them to you in a YouTube video. It's probably going to take a couple years to shake out. With mobile, that's what happened. Back in 2008, after Apple released the App Store on the iPhone, the first mobile apps were just people putting informational stuff into mobile apps. They weren't that interesting. And famously, you know, the first investments in these mobile apps weren't that great investments. You know, I think Kleiner Perkins had like an iFund that just funded mobile apps, but you know, wasn't super successful. Then the second wave was these inventions like Instagram, Uber, Instacart. These were apps that could only be created once the iPhone was ubiquitous. That being said, a lot of smart engineers in mobile created mobile studios or mobile app companies, and then they were able to be acqui-hired by companies like Facebook or other big companies that were hiring mobile talent. And that was a way to get paid a couple $1 million and, you know, make some money. So you can get rich that way, but it's not a super great strategy for building a durable business or anything of lasting value. Kind of like the company version of a YOLO. In my opinion, it's not a great reason to start a company. So TLDW, I don't really know what the best places to invest in AI are, which is why I haven't made that many investments. But those are the questions I'd be asking myself if I was thinking about this space, which I'm sure a lot of you guys are. So I hope that helps, and good luck with your AI startup and your giant seed round. Just remember, it's not the size of the round that matters, it's how you use it.